Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, bass daddy and tournament pro, Don McDowell.
Man, yeah, man. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Is that a BLM thing?
Was that Santa Claus or Jabba the Hutt? I'm
No.
not really sure.
No, we're not going to support Black Lives Matter. Don't be talking like that.
Oh, you're a bad man.
Yeah, man. That's my voice of moderation and reason. John Colazar back from the throes of Detroit. Did you make it to Dearborn?
I did. I went through Dearborn twice.
Really?
Yeah. The expressway that goes up to the area that I had to get to, there's an expressway that cuts right through it. And you don't see anything because I came through in the dark and snow, and I left in the dark and snow. So it was pretty difficult to see anything. I didn't get into any side streets.
You actually spend quite a bit of time in the dark, don't you?
Yeah, I try to.
Yeah.
By the way, one of the only reasons I do this show, other than to keep a muzzle on Don, is for the perks. And today we have one of the perks. I want you to thank your bride again, because this is the one day a year that I count on, and she comes through like a champ.
The Secretary of Domestic Tranquility.
That message just got sent. We have another perk today. We have Kurt Davis in the house. Now, I need to qualify this. Last week he was very moderate, very reasonable. Today I'm not sure what we're going to get.
We'll fix
Merry
that.
Christmas.
Absolutely. You're not on the clock, so it's
That's
Kurt
right.
the guy.
Kurt the guy.
And we have our Chief of Security, Cat Thor from Dark Horse Unlimited.
Hoorah.
Welcome. Hoorah. That's cool. So I understand you were going to start screwing with me today. Is that correct?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't do that to you, man.
Really?
No. I would not that I'd admit to.
I'm ready. Listen, I've conferred with these gentlemen right here.
He confers seldom.
One of the things that we were going to do for you, since it is Christmas, and I know you like to cut your own hair, I brought my wall clipper, so guys, during the break, if you want to grab him,
Bring it.
we will butch it.
I may watch.
Oh, yeah, cock locked, ready to rock. Okay. All righty. Hey, look, we don't have anything meaningful today. It's Christmas. The breaking news from California is it's...
Falling into the ocean.
Well, basically, the Malahini is in the water. They've got a new gearbox. They ran last Sunday. They'll run next Sunday. We'll be talking to Captain Bill. He's been in dry dock. He had his right knee done, I believe, on the 14th. So both of his legs are now the same length, and he doesn't have to walk from port to starboard around the boat on one leg.
Yeah, now it's going to screw with the sea legs. So.
Nah, no, he's good.
They're straight
Yeah,
now.
he's got brand new stainless steel marine legs. So.
Titanium,
He's
please.
good. He's good.
Titanium.
It's pretty quiet up at the department.
No, it's not quiet. Actually, it was. I was up there for several meetings. They're working till the bitter end of this year. So.
You know why?
Yeah. Do you have
dedicated
anything?
personnel.
Anything that you can release to the listeners that's of vital importance to us?
Do I have to twist your arm?
No, just to remind people, we have the nearly year-round elk tags will be available in units 12 and 13, thanks to the requests of people like John Colazar. Just don't put in for them when you put in your applications.
Yeah, so if
you don't use your points on those.
Don't waste the bonus point on that.
Speaking of which, I have an intense desire to see or hear. Did you hear anything about the Mexican gray wolf program out of the White Mountain Apache tribe?
Yeah, actually, that was one of the reasons for the meeting today and yesterday as well, was to just be updated on what's going on related to that.
And
well, as Ben described, you had a 3-2
vote
in the abstentions as well. So part of what we're trying to ascertain is there a larger question here from them related to the program, meaning for their continued participation or not?
Right.
Or was it really just a vote related to the program itself? And that's the part that nobody knows yet.
I heard that they had to be removed before the 1st of January, which I thought was implausible at best and extremely difficult at worst.
That's news to me. Any kind of removal schedule.
Okay.
No, quite frankly, I don't think they can do anything in 2 weeks, especially this time of the year.
Right.
Aerial gunning works.
Let alone it sounds cost prohibitive.
Well, Sherry Barrett had said at one of the meetings, and I think James Guggenauer mentioned that she had said there are only 4 wolves running loose on the White Mountain.
And I don't think the department would disagree with that. That you're saying that there's more than 4.
I'm not saying that. I'm suggesting
that there could be more than 4.
I'm suggesting that perhaps that number might be.
Yeah. Because as you know, the complication is when you're dealing with the non-collared population.
Right.
And so I think, the earnest discussion about is really what is the number, and there's many people that believe there's more than 4.
Well, they've been up there long enough, and the biological equation is if you have one of these and one of those, pretty soon you've got 6.
But as you know, the counts are underway, and when that gets completed, then they'll know a lot more about how many are where.
They don't count the ones on the res, though, do they?
Well, I think, that'll be absolutely
part of it.
They're going to have to this time.
Yeah.
I think it would be really bad for them to wander onto the reservation after this program is discontinued. It could be fatal.
Well, I think part of that, but again, part of the conversation is what is the intention of that body's vote?
Right.
Is it what the motion was, or
does that mean they're going to vote again?
Yeah. Does that mean that they want to have other conversations with other agencies about the program? And again, that they may, have a firm commitment that they don't want to participate in the program, but that's the part that nobody's sure yet. Yeah, because they haven't articulated directly yet.
Well,
what exactly?
Okay,
and I know this sounds political and
coming
blah, blah,
from you, that would be absolutely astounding.
But it's, as you know, public bodies send messages. Public bodies make policy decisions. Public bodies sometimes send messages, then make a policy decision.
Okay,
so,
I'm known for asking stupid questions. They voted. Okay,
That wasn't a joke.
Right?
No, I'm not joking. They had a vote. What the hell did they vote on?
They voted to discontinue the program.
Correct.
That's what so is this like the Democrats were going to vote again for Hillary and Bernie?
It can be that we want to discontinue the program as the then again, I don't want to speak for them because I wasn't in the meeting. But they could be voting we want to discontinue the program as we see the program right now. It may not mean that we want to discontinue the program if there are certain things that change that we may want to advocate for, and that's the part that people don't know yet.
Yep. Okay.
So you're saying it might actually be they believe that that program's not working effectively. They need to actually discontinue that program and start something that's more effective.
Some changes, or you can get into, again, I don't want to get into other people's thought process because I don't represent them, and they've never articulated to me as a commissioner their feelings about this, but they could also be saying, look, if there's a greater impact on our nation by this program, then we also want to, we expect certain participation changes, or we want a different say about the financing of the program, all those things. I mean, that's the part we don't know.
Well, I know that they've gotten over $2 million over the past 15 years. And if they're doing that for 4 wolves, those are pricey little wolves.
That needs to be.
Well, I think we know, and I think our listeners, obviously should know that the program itself is a pricey program.
Yes.
Well, has DOJ come to a conclusion after the fairy tales that Fish and Wildlife Service have told them? Because yourself, Jeff Flake and Senator McCain came up with a $20 to $30 million number.
Which is really
we can do the math and come up with
per wolf. What does that cost?
No, they're talking total.
Right, but I'm saying, and then you articulate.
They're not even close because they didn't include the sue and settle money. We know there was $60,000 to $70,000 of
correct
money, the DR money that went south.
Correct.
That they won't admit to. So right there's $100 million.
It's an expensive, extraordinarily expensive program.
And like they do, you take that, it's kind of like elk counts. We know there's 25, but yet magically here's another 30,000, so we've got 50,000 elk here.
And a new administration gets to take a look at
absolutely
the expenditure in that arena and then decide where it fits among all of the different programs they have to operate and participate in. I mean, that's what new administrations do.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun 2017. I don't think the Trump train has stopped yet. It is still rolling. Hey, I'm Don McDowell.
Special K.
Kurt Davis.
Cat Thor.
Indeed you are. And it's Christmas. Merry Christmas. We're going to pay some bills. We'll be right back, folks. All right, and we're back. Thanks for staying with us. Hope you guys are having a great holiday. It's been a really good year, I think overall. We're getting down to the end of the lame ducks. You know what happens with lame ducks?
You mean the lame duck?
Yeah, lame ducks. Yeah, aren't they good with ring sauce or something?
Become Peking duck.
The good news is it was a short lame duck session.
Cat Thor, you've been had a pretty interesting year. You're up to some new stuff. What are you bringing into 2017?
Oh, brother, we're super excited. We've got the new program. It's I don't know how to say this in other terms, but as a tactical trainer, I have certain legal constraints that I fall under.
By the way, Commissioner, I've signed you up for couple of these. Okay. You need to know these.
You and I should both go together.
Absolutely. Back to back.
I created a membership program, and it's incredibly affordable. Every month, people paying, whether they want to pay online. We have online. It's called the American Readiness Coalition, by the way. The idea is to bring everybody together, not just the people that want training, but we want to get other instructor companies, people that have their own companies instructing. We want to bring them in, be able to help promote their companies. We want to get other vendors that have the right products for people, not the most expensive product, the right product, right? Get them to come in. We can promote them and their products. They come in, give demonstrations. We give instructors that come, and then people's membership pays for that. The program is not designed to be a profit maker. It's designed to.
Okay, what's the name of the program?
It's called the American Readiness Coalition, or the ARC program. Yeah, and the idea is that coalition, so we cover 6 main areas of training. Tactical, we always do survival, and right there in the middle is the foundation upon which it's all built, sustainability. So we teach people how to have sustainable food and water supplies right there in the desert, using permaculture, aquaponics, gardening, water catchment systems, everything. We also do medical, communications, and logistics, right? When Napoleon said an army travels on its stomach, it didn't mean they low-crawled in the enemy. Right? You have to have support for all the other people, right? So we focus on all those 6 core areas, and that program is just launched, and we're having our first training session January 14th and 15th in Kingman, the Kingman area. So we got places all over Arizona where we're going to be doing this training. The goal is to have these.
Imagine Kingman, JK.
I know. King of the double wides.
Yeah, boy.
Right there.
But this is actually outside of Kingman. It's like way out in the desert outside of Kingman. So we got about 80 acres to use out there.
It's called the city limits.
Yeah, pretty much. It's in Yucca, actually, which is just outside of Kingman.
Okay.
And we got 80 acres out there. We got 60 acres not far north of Phoenix. We've got 20 acres towards Tonopah, and working on places all over Arizona so that we can do this, build these communities. We want to encourage people to come together. We want to encourage people to work and train together. Build these, because what happens if something goes wrong? What do you do? Where do you go? Do you guys have places to go to retreat to that has food supply, water supply, that has people trained with the same skill sets you've got?
We have an evacuation plan that JK and I put together, and you can come along with us. If it does come down, we're loading the 5-ton. We're taking it west to the Agua Fria River. We're taking that to the northeast. We're coming to your house.
There you go.
You better announce ahead of time. That's all I'm saying.
You see a 5-ton coming, you know it's not the ever run-of-the-mill person.
Exactly.
If he has enough fuel to get that far.
Oh, yeah.
He'll die twice on the way.
11 miles a gallon. Come on.
I'm impressed with that number.
It's actually 11.5.
I know. My Jeep gets that much.
Yeah.
My Roadrunner used to get that much.
I'm going to tell you what my truck's.
Yeah, that's highway mileage, loaded or not.
Wow.
And off-road,
it doesn't care what you load it with. It's a 5-ton.
It doesn't care that. Off-road, it's 4 miles a gallon, whether it's loaded or not.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, that's the idea behind the program. So building these communities all over Arizona. If I have my druthers, I want to see this program go all over the United States.
Okay. Along with that, are you still doing your other...
Absolutely.
The other classes?
Absolutely.
He's got some really cool classes. We did one on shoot and move, clearing rooms, and doing some really good stuff.
Oh, yeah. We enjoy the tactical aspect, but to make it fun, right? We try to do it in I know you probably hadn't heard any of this stuff yet, but we try to do it in a safe environment, right? So we'll work people through classroom time and then do what I call the practical, where we do airsoft to get the skill sets, to train the skill sets, and then we go into the live fire just to get people
You're still using Ben Avery for a lot of stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, man, I love Ben Avery.
Yeah.
They're a great bunch of guys over there.
Yeah, that pistol range up there is just awesome.
Yeah, they have such a diversity of ranges that we can use that cover most of the.
We had a real life training situation, because you don't pick the weather during a war. We did a class up there. The wind was blowing 40 miles an hour. You couldn't see for the dust. It was lightning, thundering, blowing tables over there. Cats going, let's do this. Okay. Away we went. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was good times. I love stuff like that. Doing it in the rain. I got out there on train. I don't care what it is. I teach a combat conditioning class. I don't care what the weather is.
Well, you have to.
We're going out. We're training.
Sure.
It's good stuff.
Well, how many of those other ones are you doing? I know you were talking about doing husband and wife kind of
right.
Getting the hang of it.
The couple urban threat tactics class. Yeah. So we've got in January
working with your neighbors, that kind of thing.
Correct. Yeah, we got other than the ARC program that's got its own. It's going to be one weekend a month. It'll be one set weekend. The second weekend of every month will be the ARC program.
I'll be real honest with you. Since you and I had that class and have talked about this, I've looked up and down my street.
There's nobody you're interested in saving?
There is no help there. Absolutely not.
No. Well, see, now be careful with that. Now, don't discount just because of certain ideologies, right? That's why I don't ever discuss in my programs, and so I don't ever discuss religion or politics, none of that stuff. I don't care. All you're looking for is
You're no fun.
All you're looking for is skill sets. You're just looking for skill sets.
I know.
Right?
And I've got a firefighter who lives next door now, which is a good set of skills.
Oh, yeah.
That's an awesome set of skills, right?
And then I got a bitter old lady who lives to the other side. I mean, she has absolutely zero skill sets.
Well, you don't know. Do you know her?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got no skill sets?
None.
No, that's what I always say.
Is she menopausal?
Post.
But you got to. But see, that's an important thing. What you're doing, right? That's part of preparedness planning. You have to identify your assets. If they are not an asset, you have to make sure they do not come on the list.
I've got not only that they don't interfere with me.
Right.
I've got this little Filipino lady that's like a feminazi that lives across the street. I mean, she can't weigh 90 pounds. I put her up against any bouncer I ever met.
Hell hath no fury.
Oh, yeah. Just fire that 5-ton up at 5 o'clock in the morning and find out.
She always lets him know.
Yeah, she's right there on her face. That's good stuff. So this is being kicked off in January?
Correct, yeah. We're accepting applications for membership now. And again, real quick, I don't want to belabor the point. We have the online portion, which has over 600, almost 1,000 documents on every one of those 6 categories. We've got video archives, which will have a new training session, little vignettes, 15 to 60-minute vignettes on there to teach people certain skill sets. We've got a live learn podcast. It's going to be every week for 1 to 2 hours. We've got discounts on every vendor and trainer and programs we offer. I mean, the list goes on and on.
We have just started. We're coming out January with the SRT Hook and Bullet Club. We just certified 2 different products from Explorer Optics that are now Hook and Bullet certified. So
nice. Yeah, they make good stuff.
Yeah,
they make really good stuff. Good glass.
And the cost of this membership?
Oh, well, if you just want the online stuff, some people don't want the hands-on training, or they can't do it. They just want that. It's $19.99 a month. Right? You can't beat that. How about this? If you just want the hands-on training, it's a whole weekend of training, 10 to 16 hours of training.
I've got some pretty pointed views on online. I had to have 16 hours of United States Coast Guard online training, and boy, I'll tell you what. It was pretty good. You couldn't just start the video and get up and walk away and come answer the questions. I mean, you had to watch. It was typical government. There was questions. Make sure you were sitting there looking at it.
Yeah, regular questions.
But
the idea behind this online portion is it's a resource. It's a resource.
Okay, it's a resource. But my point is, we put my grandkids through the Arizona Game and Fish Hunter Safety class online. It's good. But it doesn't take the place of the hands-on. So they had, and I wasn't comfortable with it. I said, look, I'm not handing a 10-year-old a 30-30 based on what I just saw. So we did the online class. We went and had the hands-on class. They're certified, and I'm all happy.
Right. Well, that's the idea behind that program, is that for $19.99 a month, if that's what they want, they also get 50% off, 50% off of everything, half off of every other program we offer, every other class. If they want that weekend, they can get it for half off the price of the instructor, whatever that instructor would charge for it.
What's the web address for signing up?
It's still www.darkhorseunlimited.com. You look for the ARC program.
Dark Horse. Wasn't that like a third expeditionary force?
Yes, actually, yeah. They actually have an entire force, an expeditionary force. It's Dark Horse.
Yeah. Any correlation there?
No, sir. No, sir. Dark Horse wins against all odds. That's why I chose the name.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That's why he's chief of security, commissioner, right there. All righty. Real quick, we've got the ADA banquet coming up. What's the date for that?
February the 25th, and I'm assuming that Commissioner Davis will be present at that event.
I will tell you in just a moment.
I thought you might.
Set the table.
I'm extending the invite early. We're serving stallion medallions and burro burritos.
Oh, nice.
All righty. You're just going to keep pushing
it's not that
the wild horse
stuff,
thing.
is it?
All righty. Hey, we're going to flip into a break. Come back. We're going to get an explanation on how Commissioner Davis completed his community service. I'm Don McDowell.
Special K.
Kurt Davis.
Cat Thor.
All righty, we're back. We're going to switch gears for a few minutes, go to downtown San Diego, where the weather is always just wonderful. Captain Bill.
Likewise. Hey, guys.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous.
Good. So we know you've been in dry dock this past week. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Dry dock's been treating me very nicely.
Okay, so
shake, rattle, and paddle, if you will.
Okay, so you should be about an inch. I mean, if they straighten out your legs, you ought to be about an inch and a half taller, correct?
I am exactly 1 2/4 inches taller.
Close enough.
1 2/4 is 1 1/2. Last I checked. I know he's not a mathematician. He's been on a boat a long time.
Well, he's a fisherman, but if it weighs 5 pounds, it just became an 8-pounder.
You're funny. What's going on, guys?
Hey, we're just kind of hanging out, wrapping up the year. It's been pretty good year. We've had some bumps along the way, but we're still standing. We have a good outlook for 2017 with the new administration coming in to help us out, saving the bluefin, the buffalo, and getting the wolves off the landscape and all the other damn stuff that we've got to fight. So,
I definitely have high hopes.
We do. Let me ask you this: how's the good ship Malahini? I know you're having a gearbox problem. Is she all happy now?
Oh yeah, she's good to go. She's good to go. We actually ran our first trip last Sunday?
Okay.
Excellent cod fishing, guys. Oh my gosh, the cod were stupid.
Really?
They wanted to die.
Cool.
They were jumping in the boat?
They should have been.
Any size?
We had one passenger. 8 to 10 pound reds, bocaccios, aka salmon groupers, starries. We actually hooked a cowcod. I think went about almost 23 pounds.
Whoa!
We had to bust his bladder and put him back.
Yeah.
And he lived. I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty
details,
sure.
We think he did.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it was fun though, man.
Yeah, that's one of the things. The problem with the prohibition that they have on shutting these species down, and you know this. You're out there fishing, you have no control of what bites your hook. Okay, so you bring it up from 100 feet, its eyes pop out, its tongue pops out, the bladder pops out, and you got to turn it loose. How do you think that fish feels?
Pop out. Hey, probably upset because he didn't get put on my plate.
Sounds like somebody in Washington sitting at a desk.
Sounds like thinks like
California DFG thing.
Yeah, those guys are out of control. Quick question: moving into 2017, when would she start booking trips over there?
We're starting to book as soon as possible.
Okay.
As far as charters.
Yeah.
I haven't had anybody call about charters as of yet, but I'm pretty sure here in the next probably the first, second week of January, we'll start getting our reservations for charter.
Okay, well, you need to get your crystal ball. Look at your crystal ball, and when are we going to start catching yellowtail?
January.
What?
There you go.
I don't want to fish for yellowtail, though.
What do you want to fish for?
I want to fish for cod till March, like normal. And
Bill.
then we start fishing for yellowtail.
Bill.
No.
Bill,
no.
you, me, J.K., and Commissioner Davis and Cat Thor are not in the definition of normal.
This weather thing got you guys spoiled, see?
Captain Bill, are you supposed to be traveling? Are you supposed to be using a motorized vehicle? I mean, does the medication allow you to use motorized vehicles?
I'm actually at physical therapy right now. And my wife is in a lobby waiting for me.
All right.
So yeah, am I inebriated? Is that what you're asking?
No, never ask that. No.
Look, his wife is a wonderful Hawaiian lady.
Yes,
and I'm sure that, Maui Wowie brownies are not uncommon.
You guys are funny, man. You guys are funny.
Okay.
But no, I mean, seriously, a normal year for the Malihini or 3/4 day fishing as a whole is you shut down for maintenance 3rd, 4th week of December through the 1st, 2nd week of January. You're back in the water on January about the 27th, 28th. From January 28th to March 1st, you're fishing cod. You sweep through the islands looking for yellowtail at the end of your cod drifts. Okay, there's yellow here. Let's see if we can't hang a few. You hang a few, good. You don't, good. It doesn't really matter. Come March 1st, we start focusing on surface game fish, yellowtail, bonito, barracudas, calico bass, and stuff like that. Through the 1st or 2nd week of, I'm going to say, April, May, and then we shift gears totally from just yellowtail. Yellowtail do or die is what we call it, and it's not necessarily a good thing. Because there's a lot of times that, people come out and they just want to catch fish. I understand that, but I don't understand that as also. Does that make sense to you guys? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And then about the 1st, 2nd week of August, we then start our offshore adventures chasing the tunas. That is a typical fishing for a 3/4 day.
Okay, but we've got a couple of things that come into play that Al Gore is going to take credit for: El Nino and La Nina. How much is that going to? We're getting a wind down on the El Nino. We're going to have a little bit of La Nina. What's that going to do to us?
It's going to be a wetter winter, basically. So boats probably not going to get off the dock as much. January, February, 1st week of March, we'll start running 2 to 3 days a week. Come April, May, June, you'll start running 3 to 5 days a week. July, summer kicks in and everybody comes to San Diego for whatever reason to hang out and have a good time and keep coming through the 1st week of October. And then your fishing season basically is that time of period, that period of time is when you get most of your clientele.
Yeah, boy. All right, that's good information to have, Bob. Listen, we're going to kick you loose. Good luck on your physical therapy, and don't eat the brownies and drive.
Be well, Captain Ayback.
Merry Christmas, Captain.
If I don't talk to you guys before Christmas, Mele Kalikimaka.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, this is child-friendly program.
Merry Christmas in Hawaiian, guys.
No, thank you, Captain Bill. We love you, man. God bless you. All righty, Captain Bill Malihini. Basically, I think next week we start thinking about tuna fishing at H&M Landing, 619-222-1144 or hmlanding.com.
I agree.
So, Mr. Davis,
dun, dun, dun.
you had alluded to completing your community service during an elk hunt. I have to ask, was that court appointed? Perhaps by Attorney General Brunovich?
Remember the Fifth Amendment. Fifth Amendment.
Self-stupidity is what it was.
What'd you do?
I had worked hard on a 6x6 that I had gone out and visited a few times and figured out his patterns and all that kind of stuff. And on opening day, I thought it would be really smart to try to outsmart him, and I ended up pushing him right in front of another hunter, and that hunter had a great day. I got to watch it.
Oh, did you really?
That was
I guess I'm thrilled to hear that.
That's like, here, let me put some salt in that cut.
Yeah.
it was a great day for the other fine gentleman. It was not as
What
great
unit
a
were
day
you in?
for him. 7 West.
Okay.
And he was a beauty, and I'd done my homework, and I had really figured out his patterns, but I thought I was above him on the ridge, and I was actually below him. Yeah. And
you were close up then.
Yeah. Well, I was really close up. I could almost smell the powder.
Oh, yeah. That's close.
So it was a great day for that fine gentleman, and he was a really nice guy. And so I did my community service.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing like
That's
being
good
out
stuff.
in the field during a rifle season and hearing lead flying over your head.
Yeah, and I haven't
That's-
been on a rifle hunt in a long time.
you
'cause
guys
I'm
had a
a
little
black
bit of
powder
that.
guy, and so it's a little different
Oh, yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
And
Well, those 50 calibers coming out of a black, they don't fly that far.
no,
And they're
it's-
really big.
Yeah, and you're
200
you know what I mean. You're just it's a
Yeah.
whole different.
All you got to worry about is it a hiss or a pop?
Yeah, we had the hiss.
But I was
All
glad
righty.
to provide that service.
Yeah, God love it.
That was nice if you had heard him over that way.
Was it good therapy?
Oh, it was great therapy.
Okay, we're going to leave it go at that, and we will be back.
Ground, Cock 1, Texas, 4 fighting Cox with Romeo, upper fighter ramp to 5 right. Cock 1, Kadena, ground runway 5 right.
All righty, we're back. This particular segment.
I come here for the music.
Yeah.
Honestly, I come here for the music. It's awesome.
Hey, I'm going to make you a CD.
All right, we have
just don't
some
play it in front of
really
your kids.
important questions. I have one question that demands to be answered today. Commissioner Davis, you ran the circuit once. You did your 5-year term. What are you going to do this time, and how are you going to do it better?
It's a great question. No, and you do. You guys know better than anybody because you've been in and around this for so many years. You learn a lot, and you have to learn a lot quickly as a commissioner. I would say the biggest thing that I learned and that you want to be better at in phase 2, and that's not just me as a commissioner, but also in pushing the department as well, is a much more aggressive communication regimen with the constituencies, the constituent groups.
You didn't have to stay the sportsman's constituent group, did you?
No. I got the short end of the stick.
Oh, you were shoved a stick that time.
No, the overall communication regimen, because as you know, you get mired down in the details,
Right.
and you sometimes forget not everybody else gets the details, and doing a better job. And I quite frankly tried to do self-improvement on that side as a commissioner during my tenure. But that can even be more aggressive and aggressive across the front, not just a single commissioner, but
Right.
aggressive across the front with the department as well, because out of that saves time. Ultimately, I finally figured out it saves time, because then you're not having to spend as much time correcting sometimes what's bad information. If the right information had been provided up front, or it allows you to focus on what really the issues might be versus what people think they are.
Right.
And so you can just more quickly get to results. And I also like, I think, you wear different hats. One of the hats you wear is an advocate,
Right.
for people outside the department into the department, and then sometimes you wear the hat of you're an advocate for the department as well, to both people outside the department and across the country. As you know, we've been very aggressive in dealing with federal overreach issues, for example, and that piece of me also is that has to continue. Just because there's a change in administration doesn't mean that we're not going to continue.
There's still a war.
That fight will continue. Yeah.
And I don't want people to go home and go, "Hey, we're past that."
No,
okay.
It's a fight. One of the things, Kat, you probably don't know this yet, but you will. One of the things about locking horns with Commissioner Davis, and I have, with the greatest of reverence, and he's fair. And I've walked away a number of times not getting my point across, but I get an education because, we all get tunnel vision, and I suffer from it probably more so than ever anybody else the way I'm wired.
It's going to be terminal for him.
It is, but,
the tunnel, the train.
Commissioner Davis has this really unique ability to say, now look, here's the big picture. Here's what you're talking about. Here's what we're talking about. And here's the net end game, which is what we're all interested in. So I walk away being not with a feeling that, gee, God, I lost this one. Damn. It's like, wow, I just learned a whole bunch of things that I didn't know.
I became part of something bigger.
Yeah, I mean, that's like your ex-wife going, look, let me tell you something about yourself that you don't know. Okay?
Well, just for the record, King Solomon was fair, too.
And that's part and parcel. I think, we've got a really, really strong commission. We have the last 4 or 5 years. We're going to have that moving into 2017. And Commissioner, what you're talking about, yes, we have a new administration. A whole bunch of us work real hard on getting that administrative change. But November 9th, the fight didn't go away. We know now where the fight is, because before we didn't know whether we were going to take the right road or the left road. Well, now we're taking the right road.
Shouldn't it be the right road or the wrong road?
Thank you. Well, I mean, I wasn't using the left as, well, I will. Yeah, the left is the left.
Why, were you being PC?
We have a grand opportunity to reaffirm the most important tenets of wildlife conservation and try to reaffirm those across both the state and federal nexus. But it's still going to take work to do that.
Well, I think one of the big goals, you talked a little bit about federal overreach. That is going to continue. But I think bringing
sue
back...
and settle, all those things.
Sue and settle needs to stop.
Correct.
Trying to get the state's rights back into the right department, especially the Game and Fish Department. There's a rumor going around that now Fish and Wildlife Service wants to manage all wildlife on federal lands. Wait a minute. So... Anyway,
with their less than 1/8 amount of money than the states collectively spend on conservation.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave you guys with a thought for our soldiers. God bless them. We don't have roll call today. Thank God for that. And you see a soldier, pat him on the back, give him a salute, because you know what? They're keeping you free. I'm Don McDowell.
Special K.
Kurt Davis.
Cat Thor.
We'll be back.
We got the power, we got the speed, we're running wide open on a midsummer breeze. Freshwater, saltwater, watch out, boys. Bass Daddy Don's gonna make some noise. It's me and the boys gonna shake, rattle, and...
Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
Thanks for joining the second hour of Shake, Rattle, and Troy. We appreciate you tuning in and playing along with us. Merry Christmas. John Colazar is here, the president of the ADA, the Special K from the ADA.
Yes.
I like that.
I do too.
And the voice of reason.
Moderation.
And reason.
And
reason.
That is Commissioner Kurt Davis.
Newly
from
reappointed.
AZGFD. KD from the AZGFD. And CT from Dark Horse. So what can I tell you?
CT.
All right, we got a lot of stuff going on. The year's been good. We're coming down to the short end of it. A couple things on the table we haven't talked about is the Sonoran Monument restricted shooting. Commissioner, does the department have a position on this? We have several alternatives, A, B, C, D, and E. And I'm looking at these as like, if I were to take you out in the parking lot and say, look, I'm going to hurt you. Now, you have a choice. I'm going to hit you with a bat, or I'm going to stab you with my pocket knife. Pick one.
Although there was one that said no activity, no change.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Well,
okay, that would be alternative A, which is to walk away from it, leave it alone. Alternative B is doing some road closures along on the north end on the El Paso natural gas right of way. And they're suggesting shutting down 10,599 acres. Alternative C is to restrict and close down 54,817 acres, or 11%. Alternative D is a pretty interesting one. They want to shut down 320,317 acres, or 66%, or you can get shot with a pistol. E, and shut the whole thing down. Right. And you say?
A. As J.K. said. Again, this is a great example, and for people when we talk about monument designations,
absolutely,
you fast forward to years later after the designation, and you say, "Oh,
we're going to change this."
Yeah, I thought that this was going to be so that we would have all forms of outdoor recreation, and
isn't that term called multi-use?
Yeah, exactly, and we're going to manage it that way. And lo and behold, here we are going through a process that by and large is an attempt to eradicate the ability for people to go out and recreate.
Yep.
So that, yes, the department has been on message, very vocal, very specific about the desire to maintain the ability for people to engage in the shooting sports. And the commission will also comment on this. Now, am I optimistic as a commissioner? No, I'm not optimistic. So then the commission will have to choose and look at what other options, if they choose to go down the path of eradicating people's ability to go on their public lands and engage in a form of recreation, then the commission, I assure you, will look at that. We have to wait for the process to be completed.
Yeah.
But then we'll look at what the commission's other options are related to that ROD, ROD, record of decision, that they ultimately make on it.
Would that include visiting with Governor Ducey and perhaps Mark Brnovich? He's got a new nickname, AGB. It sounds like KGB,
but one of the options, I would say, you would be a great soothsayer if you came to the contemplation that the commission would absolutely look at its legal options related to the process, and again, to the original designation, and to what the intent is for people to be able to have access to their public lands. And, there's other issues related to the ability for us to manage wildlife. On that monument in particular.
Yeah.
This is a great case study of when you created a special designation and told people how wonderful it was going to be. The fact is that we have attempts for less access, and we've had a negative consequence for wildlife on that monument. A factual negative outcome for wildlife on that monument, specifically related to sheep.
Would an option be making a motion to have the national monument designated rescinded?
Can't do that.
Yes, you can. Donald Trump can.
Nobody's ever done it.
Nobody. Yeah. And you're both both right on this one, because it has never been litigated all the way to the Supreme Court that one president could undo the designation of another president. There is legal opinion that a president can't undo.
Challenge it.
Right. There's also legal opinion that a president can further the previous designation of another president.
Right. And or amend.
Well, further, again, we'd have a great debate on both.
Yeah.
Obama furthered some of Bush's offshore areas.
Correct. So, but if you were to go have a smaller area, let's just say, would that be furthering it? Now, I can make an argument in many cases, yeah, it is, especially when you're dealing with a monument and park system that is $12 billion unfunded for basic infrastructural
But that's the whole reason for all of these monuments is because they cannot manage it.
No.
You might as well exclude it. If it's excluded, they don't have to worry. One guy can travel around all the time, try and find, Nimrods out there who are dumber than a box of rocks.
Okay, but go back and look at
His
their
voice
plan.
of moderation, though, is very right on this.
Yeah, well,
That's what they're doing.
yeah.
What about the 10th Amendment?
It is, well, I mean, those cases.
States can reclaim.
Those states have
Kick 'em out.
that stuff has been litigated because people did a deal at the time of statehood, but that's a whole nother whole nother issue. The one facing us right now is, in my opinion, can a president change a designation? If let's just say if, and again, I'm hopeful that my Christmas present today is that the president will not be designating the North Kaibab.
I just sent you an email from Senator Mike Lee. You might want to read that.
But if he does, he's going to be changing a previous designation by a previous president,
Right.
which was Teddy Roosevelt, who created that area to be a game preserve. So
that's correct.
That's a change in the designation.
Can that be challenged on that aspect because he is changing a former presidential decree?
No comment.
Oh. Let me be the clairvoyant. I think there's something in the wind.
You just stepped in something, Mr. Clairvoyant.
Well, no, you follow the thought train. If Theodore Roosevelt, as president, declared it a game preserve, which he did, what was it, 22, something like that?
No, even earlier than that.
17? Somewhere in that time frame, he
sorry,
changed
I don't remember the date.
But in 100 years later, Obama, on his last acts, decides to change it into a national monument. He is, in effect, changing a presidential decree, which theoretically would be a great case for a court.
Yeah, good precedent.
Yeah, serious precedent.
Because you can't have it both ways.
No.
So if you argue that he can, and we want, and the advocates for that monument are basically advocating that he change a designation that Teddy Roosevelt did, then they should be willing to accept
the consequences of somebody else changing his decree.
Correct, or others.
Correct.
Is it any different than executive orders? Really?
Yes.
Well, the Antiquities Act is different.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, at least in theory, it's really not that big of a difference. So
No, not in theory,
Right.
but in legal construct, they are different.
Yeah. The application is the same. It's a decree. It's whatever you want to call it.
decree.
But
I like it.
the methodology behind it is.
But remember what what the Antiquities Act says is the president has the ability to designate the smallest amount of land possible to protect the artifact. That's what the law says. It doesn't say to create monuments or to
Willy-nilly.
Yeah, it's to the smallest amount of land possible to protect the artifact.
That's what it was designed for.
That's the
Not protection from water or anything else.
Right.
Or uranium.
Yeah, you
mines,
guys
or
were talking about
what artifact?
Teddy Roosevelt back in 1906.
So what artifact are they trying to
the
protect?
first national monument he designated was Devil's Tower in
How many acres was that?
Wyoming.
A few hundred, I think.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
Not 1.7 million, which would be the largest designation in the history of our country.
The fight's going on up in Utah. Another 1.9.
Bears ears.
And that right now that is heating up.
Thought so. Count down the days.
So there's lots of very interesting.
As a commissioner, have you reached out at all to the Republic because they are so staunch advocates of it?
Yes, on numerous occasions. And, they've let me do a couple guests.
Yes, they have.
But then they also make sure those get answered very quickly.
By Linda Valdez.
Yeah, they did not make me their person of the year.
All right, we're going to stand down while these guys are getting into it. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more with some things we can look forward to in 2017. We'll be right back.
Motion Queen, New Orleans, brushing her cat in a black limousine. On the backseat was Scratcher Strong. Marks of
Who requested that?
Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, my man.
Yeah, did you bring your tambourine?
I should. I always love that song.
And you still
Kurt, you got to see this two-step line dancing with a tambourine. This guy right here, man.
Gypsy Jen.
Woo!
Somebody's got to do it.
I don't have a spoon to get that image out of my head.
That one. Don't put that one on the CD.
Well, that's why I had to ask him about Detroit. You have family back there. When we were talking last week, and I kind of pointed out to the Attorney General that with JK, if he's around, women, children, and chickens are not safe.
No. Chickens and children. Hide your chickens and your children when I'm coming around.
So I don't ever want to hear those words come out of your mouth again.
It's a good thing.
It's a gypsy thing, don't worry.
Well, at least he does share the chickens.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, let's move this thing along. 2017, we're looking at, some Tonto National Forest planning. Is the department and or the commission going to get involved in that at some point?
Currently, absolutely very engaged. I think you remember the first camping plan that came out with the designation of campsites, the road closures. The department was very clear in articulating the department's position. And again, this one I put in the common sense category. We have, as you know, multiple national forests. The average person decides, hey, I'm going to take the family out camping.
Right.
Now you have to bring a lawyer to figure out.
Well, no, a measuring stick and a GPS unit, as well as a long butt tape to make sure that 101 yards is not broken.
Or is it 30?
Or to 30 feet.
Or is it 300?
Yeah, it depends on, you need to know where you are by GPS.
Is that road that still has a Forest Service marker on it closed or not closed?
Exactly. And which forest are you in, because that determines which kingdom's rules you follow.
Right. And hunt units, they're split by forests.
Oh, yeah.
So
well, you can hear the just the desperation in your voice. You're like, oh, yes. God.
And 238,000 acres currently being managed as wilderness that has not been designated as wilderness by the Congress of the United States.
Details.
Well, we've got, just so you know, when
this is confusing for people who want to use their public lands.
Secretary Zinke will have, I think right now he has 4 emails to answer when he sits down and goes, okay, we're open for business. That's going to be one of them. Is what we're looking at now, this Tonto National Forest Planning Committee is looking at more wilderness designations. They don't want to talk about it, but it's certainly in the 600-page document that magically appeared while they didn't have a team working on it.
Here's the good news, Don, about that is our U.S. Senator John McCain, our recently reelected senator, was in office when he and Mo Udall worked in a bipartisan fashion to do the 1990 or 91 Wilderness Act, which was the final Wilderness Act that was supposed to be passed in Arizona, which was they brought in all the groups, all different kinds of user groups, all different kinds of conservation groups, different environmental groups, etc., and said, we're going to do an omnibus package of wilderness. Let's get everything on the table.
Okay.
And they did. And they worked hard for I don't know how many years. It took several years to pass, which by both accounts, both former Congressman Udall, who's passed away, and Senator McCain, to finalize Arizona's wilderness areas. So when I hear about people talking about new wilderness areas, that conversation occurred back in 1990 already.
Boom.
And the second is that it also is an absolute violation of the law to take lands and say, they could become wilderness, so they have wilderness characteristics, so we're going to manage them as wilderness.
Preemptive.
That's
there are 2 terms that I hate: wilderness characteristics and suitable habitat.
Correct. Because neither of them
sustainability in there.
Neither of them are legal.
No.
And second to that is that you've created an ability to get around Congress. So that issue will definitely come up with the new administration, and I know our delegation, it wants to have answers about the 238,000 acres that's already been designated as having wilderness characteristics.
Are they
going to
look at the lack of transparency with Tonto National Forest, specifically their planning team, as to just exactly who they're conferring with? It's certainly not the sportsman.
No, what they'll say is that you have the ability to comment.
Right.
So you have access, and your groups can comment on the plans. That, again, so the commission instructed the department to be engaged in every one of these planning efforts on all of these forests, which, again, you can probably figure out the conclusion of this. If you participate as an official cooperator in that process, then that gives you standing.
Right. Which is what we need. So if you're going to say anything long term, you better say it up front.
So, right. J.K., is that the reason we were excluded from the planning committee?
Yes, because we didn't comment early on.
Right, because then you get into phase 2, phase 3 of the process.
You have to have standing.
Now we're down to the need for change.
But I would tell you to make sure you articulate to the department your feelings about any the parts of this process, because the department is articulating very directly,
and they have standing
in this process, and the commission then articulates. We obviously make the final determination on what our response is, our formal response, and then we also have the authority and the ability to deal with that process after it's completed to make sure.
My point in all of this
that it is followed based on a legal basis, not just the whims of particular
I want to see
people.
some accountability, number one, on this planning committee, which is different than the TMP, which is, they're still looking at that and, all that kind of thing. With this planning committee, they haven't been transparent. They haven't answered the question on, look, you guys told us that the entire team had been disbanded. Nobody was working on this plan for a year, 14 months. The next time we engage was at the request of TRCP, which is a whole nother can of worms. We were called in to have a meeting. They told us, look, we've taken comments. While everybody was gone, mind you, here's a 600-page document. They're going to give us a 40-page condensed version to review and comment. That was it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So during the whole dissertation, there was a couple of comments made about wilderness, and I keyed on it. Jim Unmock keyed on it, and about fell out of his chair. And point blank asked, who have you been talking to?
Mm-hmm.
Change the subject, pivot, go the other direction. It was not any of the 28 members that make up the AZFWC, nor any of the other hook and bullet clubs.
There's nobody with a straight face that can look at the public and say honestly that the travel management, the travel management planning, the recreation planning, any of the camping guidelines and sites, and no one with a straight face from the Forest Service can look to the Arizona's public and say that this is not confusing, hasn't created problems, is based on much of it based on really bad data, and that the public, the true public, has any idea what you're really up to. They cannot with a straight face say that. There's absolute abuse in this process.
That's like Hillary Clinton going, "Yeah, I turned over all my emails."
Yeah, you got me fired up, because this is an issue that drives me completely insane. I mean, we have historic campsites.
Yes,
absolutely.
People that have been literally camped on for 100 years, right? And
what's your favorite unit? What's your home unit categorically?
12.
I have 6B.
Yeah, well, great unit. That would probably be my second.
Wait, don't just brush over this. I want to hear about this campsites that people have been camping on for 100 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then they've now been removed as a legal campsite.
All right. When you come back, I want to know something else, too. What do you think, based on the fact that we have majority in House, Senate, and the executive branch, Equal Access to Justice Act being remodified or altered or changed or accountability, any of the above? What do you think the odds are on that happening over the next 4-year stretch?
Commissioner, I apologize for him losing the reason portion of this segment.
It was long gone. I know. It's the end of the year. I can do this.
That came from his moderate side.
Really moderate. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. I'm Don McDowell with
Cat Thor.
Kurt Davis.
Voice of moderation and reason.
Used to be. Okay, we'll be back.
The rooms were so much colder then. My father was a soldier then, and times were very hard when I was young.
All righty, that's just for you, James. We had a tough time when we were kids.
Yeah.
All righty, James Guggenauer, the master rod builder from Rim Country Custom Rods. Did you get all your Christmas rods delivered today?
You know what? Santa was working 16 hours in the workshop last week, but happy to say that they all got delivered before last night, so we're in good shape.
Boy, you got to love those midgets. I mean, elves.
Was that 16 hours?
They're vertically challenged people.
Yep, elves. They're elves.
Jeez.
Sorry. Well, bad elf.
You are a bad elf. Yeah.
Oh, you got to love it.
Might be the
Commissioner Davis dying over here.
Oh, dude. Hey, you know
Woodshed
what?
Monday.
Come on, it's Christmas.
Yeah, be
you
nice.
got to recognize recognize the little people. Come on. All right,
James, please take over.
We're all going to hell just for laughing at
James, I believe I've stepped in something. Help me out here.
Okay. Hey, let me give you some really good news on bass fishing. Roosevelt Lake, the first thing I'm going to say is Roosevelt Lake is flowing harder than it has for a long time. Yes. The Salt River is flowing at 422 cubic feet per second, and just for you, Santa Don, that equates to 3,155.6 gallons per second.
Nice.
3,000 gallons a second.
Wait, I'm still in the math, doing the math.
Okay. Trust me,
If it's
on this for 3 weeks.
3,000 gallons a second is times 60 is 180,000 gallons a minute.
You guys are hurting my head.
Getting close. Yeah, about
180,000 a minute.
Yeah.
Divide by 0. Wait, I'm still going.
Okay, now,
my pool's filled.
Bit of water coming in.
Well, the thing that SRP needs to tell us is how many showers does that equate to?
I'm not going that far, but I did the math for the gallons per second. I'm done. You've been after me for 2 weeks for that.
Okay, well, great job.
How filled is the lake? What percent are we?
We are. I can't believe that it's not reading 36%, but it is like 0.1% under 36% full.
Man.
So officially 35% full, but very close to 36.
That's a big lake to fill up, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would live for 50.
With all that water coming in, keep in mind, Roosevelt Lake is 20 miles long, right, from the Tonto clear to the Salt End. So you're right, it's a big lake. But the good news is all that water coming in is bringing dirty water in, and all the bait fish will move to that flowing water. Just instinctually, they move there. So all the fishermen this past week are either fishing at the very end of the Tonto or the very end of the Salt. There is nobody other than crappie fishermen fishing in the mid-lake this past week.
Stop giving away the secrets.
Fish the mud line.
So that's where Santa. That's why Santa was along that mud line this morning.
Yeah, boy.
Now the water up there is colder. The main lake temperature is like 58 degrees. So I think we have seen 60 degrees for the last time this year, and where 55 degrees is that metabolism number that we start getting to. We're still above that at 58 degrees. So the fish are still really active, and there's a good reaction bite, especially on the Salt End in the stick-ups up there around Campaign Bay.
All right.
So if you were going to Roosevelt in your new bass boat and your new fishing rod and your new reel after Christmas, I would head to the Salt River end of Tonto Lake with a reaction bait.
Okay.
It's
okay. I'm going to leave it go with that. I'm not going to talk about the bandits. Not at all.
Yep. Hey, and the crappie fishermen are excited too, because crappies are still in big schools, really big schools we're seeing this winter. we can't remember a time where, you look at your graph and it would literally just be filled. The display is just filled with crappie. So big schools, slow trolling is the technique this year. Don't know why, but usually it's like 1.2 to 1.5 miles an hour to troll for crappie this time of year. Now it's like 0.7 or 0.8 miles per hour. So as slow as you can drift your boat, fishing in about 20 feet, 15 to 20 feet down is where the crappie schools are. A little curly-tailed grub with a minnow-tipped bait will catch you 10 or 15 crappie without much effort.
What's the magic color? Is the John Deere still working?
John Deere still works, and there's a silver and blue color that's being reported. Everyone always says black, blue, and chartreuse or John Deere, but there's like a gray metallic / silver kind of color with a blue almost stripe on it, and those seem to work pretty good. You can get those down at Bass Pro Shop or Walmart. A lot of them carry them.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, my best advice on that is take your purple magic marker on that blue one and put a little purple on the back.
Well, I was going to tell you that. Going back to those jerk baits, I was asking guys what they were fishing with, and up there on the salt end where the water's still stained because it's coming in so hard, they're using rattle traps up there. And guess what color rattle trap? Yeah, you got it, Don. That's your chrome and purple rattle trap, and
those are actually pretty damn hard to find. The chrome with the black back, blue back, pretty common. Purple back, So
they are, but here's another tip. It's the small one. It's not the large rattle trap that you see, the 1 ounce. It's the half-ounce rattle trap that guys are catching on.
Anybody want to help me out here? I'm color challenged. I believe there's five primary colors.
Yeah.
So what is chartreuse?
RGB. White.
What's chartreuse?
You have a lot to learn.
Yeah. We're going to take him off to base level 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you married?
No.
That's why you don't know what chartreuse is.
Yeah.
You know what? He is, however, seriously attached.
Yep, he's the love of my life.
But they don't give you those secrets till later.
Well, if you check his right-hand pocket, he will have a hall pass for today, for sure. Okay. All right, James, what else is happening up there in the downtown Payson?
Well, the rim lakes are frozen over. I mean, if you're going to go fish the rim lakes, I'm not saying that they're all frozen, but some of them have ice in the mornings, and if you go later in the day, you can catch them. But for the most part, call ahead. You need to call either the stores or the gas stations, wherever you're going to go, and ask what the conditions are up there. And not only the condition of the lakes, but the condition of the roads. A lot of them are getting wet and snow-covered and kind of muddy, and they actually close them when the access gets like that.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Time to start checking before you go.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk in, though, and do ice fishing. You drill a hole, auger it out, and you're good.
JK, we're going to stand on SRT principle. We do not talk about ice and fishing in the same sentence.
I saw a whole lot of people with tip-ups over the weekend.
JK, that's an excuse to go out and drink whiskey.
No, you don't. You don't drink whiskey out on that stuff. These guys were not in the shanties. These were out there with the tip-ups. That's hardball stuff. That's where you set up 6 tip-ups in a line. You keep your eye on them, and you jig for bluegill that you can use as bait for those pike tip-ups. It's a different world.
JK, the only difference is the guys that are in the ice houses, they're drinking Kahlua. The guys that are standing out there in the open on the ice, they're drinking Jack Daniels.
Yeah, boy. What, Jameson's not an option?
Yeah.
That would be an option, too, yeah.
Hypothermia hits quicker. That's all you got to do. Is drink harder, and you're going to get hypothermia faster.
Quicker
Liquor,
but after a short time, you don't really care.
Yeah, that's when you die.
All right. I guess that pretty well covers that.
Voice for moderation again.
Yeah. How would you know that? Why do you know things like this?
Been there, done that. I've been revived once or twice.
Read a few books.
Yeah.
I think the big question here, James, for Jake, did you leave Detroit voluntarily?
Yes, I
or
did.
Or was it quarter point?
Oh, no, I remember the moment I decided to leave. I was coming out of a tree stand. It was 5 o'clock in the evening, which is almost pitch black at that time of year. There was 20-mile-an-hour winds, 20 inches of snow on the ground, and a 20 below zero wind chill factor.
Well, 20 is not a good number for you.
No, I said, I'm done. That's it. I'm out.
Yep, that about do it. All right, James, if you got anything else to add, we got about 60 seconds to get this thing wrapped up.
I just want to thank you, Don, for helping promote my business. I enjoy talking to you every week, and to all the customers out there that supported Rim Country Custom Rods during the last year, I appreciate your support. The phone calls, there's a lot. I get phone calls after the show, and people want me to clarify something, and I appreciate all that. So
let's hope for good phone calls. You do a great job. The main thing is you take care of those elves.
Thanks for all you do, James.
You got it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, James Guggenauer, one of the best. We're going to come back. Got a couple minutes, and we're going to get on with the day. I'm Don McDowell.
Special K.
Kurt Davis.
I forget.
Who does that remind you of, J.K.? All righty, we're back. Hey, I want to thank you guys for listening. We always appreciate you guys tuning in to Shake, Rattle, and Troll. We've got a new website coming up in January. Watch for that. Sign up for the Shake, Rattle, and Troll newsletter. A lot of AZGFD stuff you need to know about. We're out there watching the West, guarding what they're doing in Washington. We'll keep you posted on all of that. Kat, I want to thank you for coming down. You're always a pleasure. Great guy to have in your foxhole when the firefight starts. So,
thank you,
what's
sir.
your website for your ARC program?
www.darkhorseunlimited.com. Look for the ARC. It's right there on the main page.
Cool. Now, may I give out your home phone number?
Dreaming's free.
I like that. I don't even have one.
I'm only going to give this phone number out one time. If you want to reach Commissioner Davis at home after 10 o'clock at night.
That's happened before.
It's
happened.
Wow. Commissioner, God love you for doing what you do. You and the balance of the commissioners, all the guys, Director of Oils and Ty Gray, Jim DeVos. Chris Cantrell, you guys do an awesome job. The thing that we're hearing from James Guggenauer, we've done a lot of work in conjunction with Chief Cantrell, Dave Weeben, Curtis Gill. Those guys are awesome to work with. Roosevelt's coming back.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
More to do.
More to come. We've got.
But I'm going to be remiss. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Don, JK. You guys, you're on the front lines every day, and you never get enough credit for it. You get to be a commissioner, you go to meetings, and once in a while people do tell you thank you. I know you don't get enough thank yous. You guys move the ball every week and every day.
We don't do it for thank yous, you know that.
I know you don't. Yeah, because you would have been long gone.
See you first day.
Okay, anything add on your behalf? That would be Special K or JK from the ADA.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate at Christmas to give a gift to all those legislators who supported the Salt River Horse Recreation Area. They win the Dumbass Award for the year. From Governor Ducey on down to Kelly Townsend to all those folks who supported not touching those.
Kurt, let's go to breakfast.
They're cockroaches with hooves.
You just
guys.
Go ahead and close the show out.
No, they are cockroaches with hooves. They are going to eat us out of house and home. And you mark my words, within the next 10 years, you're going to see major problems because of these animals that are sacrosanct.
His moderation only lasts for 360 days
4
of the
days
year.
This is the 365.
And if you personally want to respond to that, you can dial 602.
834.
Eat crap.
Come on, man. It's Christmas.
I know it is. I'm giving them an award. They deserve it. It's the dumbest decision the state has ever made. And quite frankly, Commissioner, who are they seeking out support and help from on monitoring these refugees?
Well, I think the Forest Service is going to be working with the department on counting them. But let me say this to the voice of moderation.
When he shows
Governor Ducey is a big supporter of sportsmen, and I think it's somebody that you need in the firefight. And then when there are times of disagreement, then we'll unleash the voice of moderation. But this is a strong advocate for what we do in the field.
Absolutely.
And he's part of a good team we're developing here. And, and you're friends with a guy we're going to lose, unfortunately, and that's Congressman Salmon.
Yeah.
Shout out
that's going to be pivotal
to him because what a great tenure and a great American he is.
Gave the right reasons. He did what he did for the right reasons. He's one of the few people I've ever known to take a pay cut to go to Congress. Most people build their resume by going there. He took a pay cut, did what he needed to do, and he's back in the private sector now. And I think he's over at ASU. He's vice president of one of the departments, and his life is going to be secure and good, and he's going to see his family, and I'm happy for him.
And he gets to be part of the academy.
Academia.
Yeah.
There you go.
Interesting.
No.
Any thoughts on Andy Biggs?
The freshman congressmen don't move the boat. They don't steer the boat. He's going to learn a lot those first couple of years, but
It's like being a deckhand or a pinhead.
He comes from a good place philosophically, and again, I know that he's somebody that supports what we
Second
do
Amendment
in the field, and he understands the value, the economic impact of sportsmen, and that's the other piece that we can never forget. I mean, this is over 1% of the nation's GDP. Is hunting, angling, outdoor recreation. And,
we hope
it's 11% of our state's GDP. So
we hope to get Andy in house, following up with perhaps Governor Ducey or Hunter Moore, get them engaged with the AZSFWC and maybe February, something like that.
Hunter's a great guy.
Yeah,
and, serves our state well.
Good stuff. Well, I hope everybody has a great Christmas. Like I said before, 16 was a overall pretty good year. We've had a few bumps, but we're still standing. So,
it has been a year of involvement. I've been honored to be able to be on this show all this period of time. I go back 5 years now with you, and it's been an evolution in process, and I think that we need to progress in the future direction that same way.
We're working on a lot of new stuff.
Is that a word?
We're rolling out 2017, probably around January 14th, I think is the due date for that. We've got a meeting tomorrow to look at the new front end of the website. So anyway, I'm going to leave it go at that. As always, God bless you guys. We appreciate you. Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat, and we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
It was the night before Christmas. He lived all alone in a one-bedroom house made of plaster and stone. I had come down the chimney with presents to give, and to see just who in this dwelling did live. I looked all around, a strange sight to see. No tinsel, no presents, not even a tree. No stockings on the mantel, just boots filled with sand. On the wall hung pictures of far distant lands. Medals and badges, awards of every kind. A sobering thought came alive in my mind. This house was different. It was dark, it was dreary. I had found the home of a soldier. I could see that most clearly. The soldier lay sleeping, silent, alone, curled up on the floor in this one-bedroom home. His face was so gentle, the room in such disorder, not at all how I pictured a United States soldier. Was this the hero of whom I'd just read, curled up on a poncho, the floor for a bed? Then I realized the other families that I saw this night owed their lives to soldiers who were willing to fight. In the morning round the world, children would play. Grown-ups would celebrate a bright Christmas day. But they all enjoy freedom each month of the year because of soldiers like the one lying here. I couldn't help but wonder how many lay alone on a cold Christmas Eve in lands far from home. The very thought brought a tear to my eye. I dropped to my knees I started to cry. The soldier awakened. I heard his rough voice. Santa, don't cry. This life is my choice. I fight for freedom. I don't ask for more. My life is my God, my country, my core. The soldier rolled over and drifted to sleep. But I couldn't control it, and I continued to weep. I kept watch for hours, so silent and still, as both of us shivered from the cold night's chill. I didn't want to leave him on that cold, dark night, this guardian of honor, so willing to fight. Then the soldier rolled over with a voice soft and pure. He whispered, "Carry on, Santa. It's Christmas Day. All's secure." One look at my watch, I knew he was right. Merry Christmas, my friend. May God bless you this night.